Hey, you're listening to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is a wonderful day out today. As I look out the window, I'm seeing snow covered all over my trees, all over my yard, all over everything. And sometimes I think to myself, as you've heard me say many times in the past, snow is not my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Even though I live in the great state of Maine, it's still pretty difficult to be able to maneuver, get around, all that stuff, especially in the beginning of the winter. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So it's actually pretty beautiful, and I'm actually going to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram and on No Finish Line Nation just to show you what my view looks like right now, because it's pretty incredible and beautiful. But this is the week of Thanksgiving, and we are here right now as we are at our second hurdle of the holiday season, right? So the first hurdle was October with Halloween, all the candy, all the different wrappers, all of the different chocolates and Reese's cups and marshmallows and all the different types of sweets that were rolling around the whole entire place on October 31st. And the battle in the month of November to either get those candies out of the house, get rid of them, put them in the kids' lunch boxes, do whatever you had to do to be able to get away from all of the different temptations that were there, which I caved a few times, but did a pretty good job of being able to do that as our first hurdle. Hurdle number one of the holiday season is Halloween in my mind. And now we are heading into hurdle number two, which, if you were able to watch on the Two Kitchen Tables and a Microphone or video cast that we do on YouTube with Jonathan Mud Hustler and myself, where we talked about how this holiday coming up is the first holiday that we get to that is all centered around food. And most holidays has food to go with it, with a side of, the side of food with all of the different family parts and moving pieces. But it's interesting on how Thanksgiving, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, always centers around food of some sort, form, or fashion. So if it's going over a friend's house for a dinner, for turkey dinner, if it's another tradition you might have with some green bean casseroles or some sweet potato pies or mashed potatoes or gravy, whatever it is, everybody has a little bit of some form of food that is able to tie you back to Thanksgiving, to bring back certain memories, to really just evoke some family traditions, those kind of things. And this is a big day. It's a big day for people in general to just love each other and appreciate each other and go through all of the different things that we go through as a family. Whether you fight as a family, whether you love each other as a family or whatever, it's interesting because it's still family and you're still around and you guys connect and those kind of things. And we need those battery recharges sometimes. So with this being the second hurdle that we have, I wish you all the best of luck, okay? So here's two things that I'm going to throw out there. This isn't the purpose of the podcast. This is just me off the cuff thinking to myself what Thanksgiving really means. And as you're sitting today or sitting tomorrow and you're watching football or spending time with the family or eating food or those kind of things, please don't forget to forgive yourself if you slide some when it comes to eating. Okay? So it's a day that's built around food. So you're going to have foods that are there, and you could be mindful and celebrate in small little victories where you might bring a little bit less to your plate, where you're having a little bit of the potatoes versus a huge helping or heaping of potatoes that are on there. Or you might have a small amount of the sweet potatoes instead of the fill my plate halfway full and cover it with gravy. Or maybe you're going to do a little bit of that green bean casserole that normally you wouldn't have when you're in your rigmarole of the week and you're sitting there trying to be able to go through eating healthy and those kind of things. And green bean casserole would not be on your agenda to be able to do during the regular times of the week. But today is going to be a special day. So enjoy it, embrace it, be mindful, do those kind of things. But don't take away from the old spirit of everything, where if food is a centerpiece of your whole entire experience, don't remove yourself from that experience just because you want to starve yourself or just because you're on a diet. Now, I know a lot of people don't like using the word diet, but it's true. We're all on diets, every one of us, all of us in one form or fashion or another. And whether we're counting calories, whether you're doing the points, whether you're looking at your fat content, doing keto, whatever it is that you're doing, you're counting. You're on a diet, no matter what, no matter where you're at. That's what we're doing, okay? So as you're sitting there and you are embracing and enjoying and loving everything about Thanksgiving, please don't forget to continue to enjoy it and embrace it and love it. And if food is the centerpiece, then enjoy that. Be a part of it. Don't step away so far and deprive yourself so that becomes more of an issue than it does in anything else. And you're going to have your food pushers. And if you are on a diet, listen, like, to be honest with you, if you want to stay strict to where you're at and you want to be able to portion things out and do whatever, it's just like any other day, right? So if you're in the mindset that it's a holiday and here we are eating all these crazy fattening foods and you don't want to make that decision, that's okay too. Like whatever decision that it is, that you are going to be in the right frame of mind, that you are not depriving yourself and starving yourself, which makes you grumpy. That's not what you want to do. And when you are in that mode of being healthy or those kind of things, then do that. Embrace that. And don't make a big scene of it. Just kind of, like I said, smaller portions, or you're eating certain types of things where you're eating the white meat of the turkey versus the leg, or you're eating no gravy on your mashed potatoes versus just the mashed potatoes, or no butter, those kind of things. Small decisions that you can do to be able to make sure that you're doing things the right way and you're mindful. But also, on the back end of that, if you do slide and you do say, you know what, today's just one of those days that I'm going to loosen the belt a little bit and I'm going to have some fun and I'm going to eat with my family, embrace it, enjoy it, and do the things that I need to do. It's just another day. You got to close the chapter and move on the next day after you're done. So when you're done with it, you're going to wake up on the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, and you're going to look at yourself and say, man, I feel so guilty. Why did I eat all that food? Maybe I had too many beverages, one too many eggnogs. I had too much of this, too much of that. What am I doing? And then the guilty feeling starts kicking in, and then the demons start creeping into your head. And then you're sitting back going, well, what did I just do? And then you feel like a failure. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I've been through it so many times. So many times I've gone into a holiday or Thanksgiving or whatever, and I thought to myself, I'm going to really be smart this time, and I'm going to be focused, and I'm going to be good to go. And then all of a sudden I have a couple of those rum and cokes or rum and diets or whatever, and then the booze is slowly flowing a little bit or whatever it is that's there, and I got a little bit loose, and I'm watching football, and football has snacks and foods, and then we got Thanksgiving, and we got gravies and all this other stuff, and by the end of the day or the next morning, I wake up going, wow, that was a total bomb. I just failed completely. And then the slide starts to begin after that. For me, the holidays are tough because it's a cyclical thing for me during the holidays. It starts with the October 31st piece of Halloween. It goes all the way into November, into Thanksgiving. And then if I fail on Thanksgiving, I start to then spiral and slide. So what's different this time for me? And maybe it'll help you in your journey, and maybe it'll help you in what you're doing. What's different this time for me is that I am now mentally prepared for what is to come after Thanksgiving. So if I go beyond where my calorie count needs to be, or if I eat too much gravy, or if I do too much mashed potatoes, or whatever it is, forgiveness is a huge part of the journey. And I've got to be able to say, okay, I forgive myself for doing what I did and where I've been at that. Even though I made some mindful decisions, it's not what I want to do and where I'm at with it. So I forgive myself. And now is a new day and I can move on. That's the key to this journey this time. That's the difference between what I was 10 years ago to where I am right now. That's where I know that I'm going to lean in on the fact that I've got a podcast with a bunch of people that are listening to my voice on their whatever they're listening to it on, headphones, speakers on the car, whatever it is, and everybody's listening to it, and you are relying on me to be a voice of reason. And the voice of reason isn't one that says, be careful, don't do it, guys, stay clear, put the danger, Will Robinson, don't do it, don't go near the good foods, don't do that. That's not the purpose of this podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to live life fully. And when you are in the moment with family, friends, and everything, live life. If you want to be smart with it, great. Do that. Be real smart with it. And if you're comfortable with doing that and not being and still able to embrace the moment and still be able to embrace the moment with your family and your friends and all that stuff, if you're still able to do all that along with being smart and not eating the things that you want to or doing those types of things, then God love you, because you are a rare case. And if you can do it, that's awesome. I commend you. Focus on that. If you can't do it, that's okay. Maybe be more mindful. Maybe still eat the foods that you're doing. Just limit the amount that you're doing it. Okay? So think about that as you're going through your Thanksgiving festivities tomorrow. Many of you right now are traveling in planes across the country, hopping in cars. I think they said over 3 million travelers today in the airwaves trying to get to wherever they have to get to for Thanksgiving festivities and family gatherings and all those things. So first of all, the other part of this podcast, I just want to say, have a safe Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you are partaking in the festivities and you guys are having a great time at the house, find a designated driver, call an Uber, get a Lyft. They're out there. They're everywhere. They're cheap. You can do it. If you guys are going to the local pub, which is a large portion of what people do the night before Thanksgiving, where they're meeting up with old friends and old high school friends and whatever else, be safe, guys. Be safe. Don't go out and make stupid mistakes and then regret it on the day after when you're wanting to celebrate the Thanksgiving with your family and you're in the hospital or something happened that's traumatic, okay? So be safe out there. Second, enjoy the moment. Take a breather every once in a while. When all the crazy festivities are going on, if you've got big family gatherings and you guys are at the table and you got 20 people there and you guys are all slinging turkey all over the place and slapping each other in the face with some gravy and doing all kinds of stuff, and you got some fights going on over here with some of the family members, or you got some, I want to watch this show or I want to watch that instead of sports or whatever else that goes on, take a moment to step back and breathe. Just breathe and enjoy the moment. Even during the chaos, the chaos is normal. And if the chaos is normal, you sit back and go, thank God I have the chaos. Because you've got people to go to during these Thanksgiving holidays. There are so many people that are out there right now, especially out on the West Coast, with all those people that have no homes, no anything because of those huge fires right now that have gone out there. And the first responders that are still trying to go through all the rubble out there to be able to find survivors and find people. You know, it's all relative and it's all perspective. Think about when you're sitting at the table and it's going crazy and your blood pressure is going up and you're thinking to yourself, man, you know, Uncle Joe over here, you know, is hammered and he's sitting there drinking some whiskey and he's starting to mouth off, or you got your cousin over on the side that's beating on some other kid or whatever, and they're wrestling over some Legos or whatever else. Think about just for one moment that you have the ability that you guys are together and you're enjoying each one of the moments together. Even if it doesn't seem like it at the time, breathe, guys. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, and think, and just be thankful for that, for the fact that you are together and you have the ability to be able to celebrate together and the ability to be able to have dinner and watch TV. And there are so many less fortunate people. Millions of children in the country are just wondering where their next meal is going to come from because of poverty or being poor or those kind of things. So be appreciative of the things that you have, because it's really important. And that's going to segue into my second part of this podcast. Okay. The portion that I was really thinking about how I was going to be able to frame this up for this podcast. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's my way of going, how do I give thanks to the different things that I have, and what can I really quantify as being things that I'm thankful for? So here's my little list, okay? First of all, I'm thankful for my family. My family, my wife, Crystal, my son, Gavin, these guys support me no matter what. Whatever I go through, my ups, my downs, my grumpiness, my happiness, all the different things. It doesn't matter what mood I'm coming in or where I'm at with anything. They're with me. Arm in arm, leg in leg, lockstep all the way through to be able to help me push through my journey and do the things that are necessary for me to be successful. They motivate me, they inspire me, they push me, they do all those things. And so for me, I'm completely thankful that I have a great support group in those two to be able to lift me up whenever I need it and then also knock me down when I need that too. So that's the number one thing that I'm most thankful for. Here's another thing that I'm thankful for. Right near the top of my list is every one of you guys that are listening to this podcast. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here on this podcast right now talking to a microphone in Scarborough, Maine, looking out into the sunset or the sunrise or whatever with all the snow and the trees for me to be able to say that I wouldn't be doing it without each one of you listening to my voice on this podcast right now. That's something to be thankful for. There are many people that are out there that don't have a voice and don't know where to be able to put their voice out there into the world. So many talented people that have so many things to be able to bring to the table that aren't able to find it. And I have each and every one of you that is as a personal coach for me every single day. Every day that I get up, if I'm in a bad mood or I'm not really feeling it or I'm not feeling like I fit into certain clothes or I'm looking in the mirror going, you're disgusting or whatever, those kind of things, I hop onto this podcast and I know that I'm having a one-on lots of people conversation that we're just chatting and we're rapping about the fact that, you know, it's okay. Put one foot in front of the other, celebrate in your moment, be the best version of you and do the things that you're meant to do. And for me, I need that in my life. That's the only way that I've been successful. Because yes, I've slid a little bit, right? So at one time I was 105 pounds down and now I'm down about 75. So I've had about a 30-pound difference from my lowest to where I'm at right now. But that's okay. Because what I do is I keep pushing forward. And in my old days, if I had any kind of slide whatsoever, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, it would have immediately resulted in 80 to 100 pound gain like I've had in the past life. And so each and every one of you help me with that. All of your comments, all of your different things that you've said to me, all of the likes on Instagram, all of the comments on No Finish Line Nation, on Connect, on the different places that are out there in the social media platform with this whole venue. And you guys are there to be able to lift me up whenever I need it. So I'm thankful for every single one of you. I'm also thankful for the support that I get. Look at the mug exchange that I threw out there. I put out the concept of a mug exchange to do for the holidays. And I had over 250 people join the mug exchange, 125 different exchanges happening throughout the whole entire country of people sending mugs to each other based on the fact that I threw something together to be able to say, guys, let's support each other. Let's love each other. Let's do all the things that are necessary for us to be lifting each other up rather than breaking people down, especially in the climate that we live in when we watch the news and we see what's going on in our political environment and our political landscape and overall and in general with our racial landscape and everything that's going on. How about we just get out there and just have some fun with each other and support each other and lift each other up? And I think that this podcast helps me do that. So I'm appreciative of every single one of you guys, every one of you. If you're listening right now, look in the mirror and say, hey, Liquidshano or Shane is thankful for you because you support me in getting out here, bearing myself back and taking chances and taking risks to be able to talk into a microphone with all of you, okay? The other thing that I'm thankful for is my journey in general, because everything that I've got going on, I mean, I got my finger in like 17 different pots, right? So I've got No Finish Line Nation, which is a web page. If you aren't subscribed to it or you aren't part of it on Facebook, it's 42,000 people strong. You should pop over. www.facebook.com/group/No Finish Line Nation and come over and join this group. It's a place of support, a place to lift each other up, a place of just really great positivity in the world where we need it. And that's one of the major ventures that we have going on. And then I have 2 kitchen tables on a microphone where Jonathan and I sit down on a video. We're at episode 9 right now, and we talk about just life in general. We talk about pop culture. We talk about health. We talk about losing weight. We talk about holidays. We talk about the struggles. We talk about celebrations. You name it. So look up 2KTM on YouTube, and you can find us there. So that's the second piece, right? So here's 2 totally different ventures. One's a Facebook page. One's a YouTube video page. And then I got the podcast, which I've already talked about me being thankful for. And I've got a blogging site that I do on WordPress called CoffeeTalk.net. and I put different little blogs that I might be thinking about and all those things. And all of these different things that I have all give me the opportunity to be able to be on this journey with all of you to help lift you up and maybe inspire some people, and then also help coach some people, and then also bring some level of accountability to some people also. And I'm also thankful for my full-time job that I have. Now, mind you, it takes a lot of hours and a lot of work and a lot of travel that I do when I travel throughout the state of Maine, some of New Hampshire. And I'm traveling all the time, and I'm out on the road, and I'm doing some great things. But I make impacts on people's lives different ways with business-wise. So no matter where I'm going, I need a job that I can feel fulfilled, where I am making an impact on them, whether it's financially, whether it's business, whether it's personally, whether it's family, whatever it is. I'm able to do that within the different realms of employment that I have right now. Someday, I would love to be able to do this for a living, podcasting, video casting, and all that stuff, to be able to actually make a living off of. But that's not here yet. Someday, who knows? But I don't have that ability to do that just yet, and don't really know how to. But who knows what that might pan out to if this grows and continues to expand and grow into bigger and better things. So the reason I shared all those things that I'm most thankful for is because you should do the same. I know it's an exercise we used to do as kids, right? When we were in school, we used to sit down and say, what are you most thankful for? And the kid would be like, I'm thankful for apples. I'm thankful for Capri Suns, or whatever. Those kind of things that we would just be, in a childish way of doing it, we were able to. But it's okay to do that every once in a while as an adult. And I think you should do that too. List out the things that you're most thankful for right now, because these are the things that you can lean in on when you have struggles throughout the year. These are the things that you can just lean in and be able to say, okay, so if I've got this going on well in my life, and I'm very appreciative of this in my life and that in my life, whether it's a support person, whether it's a support group, whether it's whatever it is that you're most thankful for, write that down on a piece of paper and save that, tuck that away, because those are going to be needed during the times when the struggle is real. Okay? Holidays sometimes are depressing for some people. You know, we come into Thanksgiving, then we get into Christmas, and we get into New Year's. And maybe you've lost loved ones, or maybe you're alone, and maybe you're not really feeling up to the task of being very festive. And some people see all the commercials and all of the commercialization and all of the ads and wrap packages and families together. And maybe you're alone and you're not really feeling it. You're like, I'm all set. But at the end of the day, if you write down a list of the things that you are most thankful for, it might be able to bring those spirits up during the holidays when you are struggling. Maybe you can look back and say, I'm most thankful for this. And if you can really lean in on that, or maybe it's a person in your life, although you may not be a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, but maybe it's a really good friend, and you're thankful for them. And during those times when you're feeling a little bit low and a little bit down in the dumps, you might give that person a call and just say, I appreciate you and thank you for being you. These are really important things to do because we need to keep investing in ourselves. Okay? So this Thanksgiving season, I'm thankful for every one of you. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for a lot of stuff in the world. I'm thankful for having a table to put food on and a home over my head. Those are really, really big things that we take for granted sometimes, that I'm probably the most thankful for, to know that I have a home, a safe place for my kid, and a safe place for my wife to come home to that's nice and warm and smells really good when we're cooking all that food tomorrow. So tomorrow, enjoy yourself, folks. Have moments. Embrace it. Breathe. Take it all in, guys. Thanksgiving it should be a really, really amazing holiday for most people. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves. There's a lot of stress and a lot of stuff that goes on. But just breathe in and out and embrace the moment. Feel it. Do the things that are necessary for you to give yourself a jump-off point as we head into Christmas and into 2019. Use Thanksgiving as a jumping board, okay? Have a great day, everybody. Have a safe day. Like I said before, get an Uber. Do whatever you have to do to make sure that you're safe during this holiday season. And just know I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you get a chance, pop over to iTunes. Do me a favor. Go in there and leave a little bit of feedback on iTunes, whether it's the stars that you leave or leave a comment just talking about the podcast. Just let me know how you're thinking and let me know what you're feeling about the podcast through the iTunes platform. Okay, guys? We'll talk later. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you around next time.
Thanks for listening to the Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973 podcast. You can also follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Liquidshano 1973. Also, if you get a chance, leave some love on iTunes. Have a great day.